starting our backpacking trip to Grand Canyon of Tuolumne. We are leaving the Tuolumne Meadows Visitor Center. We're gonna go to Glen Allen and then through the canyon and then come out to White Wolf. Here we go. The Grand Canyon of Tuolumne is a roughly 30 to 33 mile backpacking trip, depending. We'll talk about that in a little bit. You can start at either the Tuolumne Meadows, which is where we started, or you can start at White Wolf, which is the more common place to start. Either way that you go, you're going to be descending down into the canyon and then doing the majority of the hike in the canyon along the river and then coming up and out the other side. The reason we decided to start at Tuolumne Meadows instead of White Wolf is because my husband doesn't have great knees, so going down a steep section is going to be harder for his knees than going up a steep section. So we decided to do the gradual descent and then up the steepest section. The direction that you go is really just personal preference. So I think this is Tuolumne Falls. We're at 4.5 miles in. To be honest, this really was not our favorite backpacking trip. You'll see later in the video about the not good time that we ended up having. I really kind of wish that we had a do-over here because the scenery really is so beautiful. I just feel like the time of year that we went, which was over 4th of July, was really not a good time to do this trail. We came from there, and we're going this way. I think this is the point in our hike when things started to go downhill, no pun intended. When we hit Glen Allen, we started to become assaulted by mosquitoes and bugs, and that's something that would last us through the rest of the hike until we started the ascent on the way out. It's so cold, my feet hurt. One of the really nice things about this trail is that you're pretty much following the river the entire time. So when you get too hot, you can just go in, put your feet in, sit in there. There's plenty of swim holes on this side near Tuolumne Meadows, and it's a great way to cool down, especially when it's hot out like it was during our trip.
Trail.
Yeah.
Sick.
This is the first of many trees that were down across the trail, and this was just an added annoyance for us. It took extra energy to take your pack off, get around the tree, put it back on, or find ways to jump over the tree, crawl under the tree, and it just zaps extra energy out of you. As always, I realize I am not the best videographer. I just have a GoPro tucked in my waist belt and I turn it on and off like a body cam because I don't really want to take the time to stop and set up pretty shots. Falls. You see the wheels of water coming off of it? First rattlesnake I've ever seen in my life. That was the first of 5 rattlesnakes that we saw directly on the trail in the roughly 13 miles between Waterwheel Falls and Pate Valley. You can also start to see how bad the bugs are getting here as they're now visible in the camera. And here's an example of how overgrown the brush is in some places where it's really just hitting you in the face as you're moving through it. The mosquitoes are fucking relentless. Look at the size of this bite. And this is after I've put on DEET. They're still attacking me. So this is our campsite for the night. There's really not a whole lot of great places to camp that we've found so far on the trail. So most of them are just directly off the trail and not private at all. So trail is right there and we're right here. It's the best we could do to actually find a little bit of open space. This is the best one we've found for the past 4 miles. Day 2, 6:45, and we are already
On our way.
on the trail. I'm trying to make it to the Pate Valley before the sun gets too hot. So hopefully we're gonna be there by noon. So far, not loving this trail that much, if we're gonna be honest. A big part of that is the bugs though. And also that the trail is not really well maintained. There's lots of logs over the trail, lots of bushwhacking. Overall, probably our least favorite backpacking trip thus far.
I concur.
1 out of 5 stars, do not recommend.
As you can tell by this point, we're not really having a good time.
You're like, too many bugs? Oh, it's a baby one.
We're not able to really take in the beauty that is around us because anytime you pause for just a moment, the bugs are instantly on you. So because of this, we decided to try to finish this hike as fast as we could and cut it short. Initially, we had planned for 4 days in this trip and we ended up doing it in 2.5. The first day, we were planning to do roughly 10 miles and camp a little bit past Waterwheel Falls, but because we were not able to find a good place to camp, we ended up doing 12.5. This allowed us to actually potentially finish this hike a whole day and a half early, and so the goal for day 2 was to make it past Pate Valley at least halfway up the ascent to White Wolf, which would be about 13 miles. Here's another example of how most of the available campsites are really close to the trail and offer very little privacy.
See that fucker?
Oh, coming right up the trail.
Go. He's coiled up. Or not. No, he's still fucking around right now. Get out of here, snake. Give me a pull. Go.
It's hot. It's really fucking hot. Another one. Okay.
Go that way.
Yes, we're on our way. Some much needed rest here below the Pate Valley footbridge. No sweat?
Pollock painting of sweat.
Oh wait, I'm zoomed in too much. There you go, Pollock painting of sweat. So as we are taking a break here at our own little private beach, which this has been our favorite part of the trail so far, before we start the ascent up to White Wolf, I think I'm gonna revise my earlier 1 out of 5 stars. I'm gonna go with 4 out of 10 because there were some good waterfalls and the landscape is very beautiful, and some of the things that we are finding very difficult and not enjoying about the trail are things that we could have also been more prepared for and more preventative. So I think we need to take ownership of that, such as mosquito netting for the face. That would have been great. And also thinking that when we checked the weather and saw the forecast for Tuolumne Meadows and White Wolf, just the trail is down in the canyon about 3,000 feet below each of those, so it's going to be hotter. We didn't take that into consideration, which has been a struggle as there is a heat wave.
The forecasted temperature before we started the hike for Tuolumne Meadows was not supposed to get above 80, but looking at what it actually hit, it got into the 90s. And then the temperature at the valley floor, which is closer to the elevation where we were, got into the hundreds.
This part's nice. Why couldn't the whole trail be like this? Really, trail maintenance is a thing. Go, dragonflies, go! Get those mosquitoes.
Not sure what schmutz I got on the lens here. Could be bug spray, sunscreen, sweat, who knows, but it's going to be there for the rest of the video, so we'll just pretend that it's an extra sun flare.
We just finished our first mile in 56 minutes.
Well, there are 2 more to go.
Yeah. As gruelingly terrible as this hike has been, this is pretty amazing. All right, well, beautiful view, but we are also ready to be done. So let's get out of the bugs in the sun.
Very much so.
Get a shower. That looks like a bear to me. Okay. Oh my god, level ground.
I don't know how long it'll last.
It probably will not last very long. We probably are going all the way up there. Oh my goodness. All right. You bugs, I'm wearing DEET. Go away. The elk cars are beautiful. Fuck my channel. I know. Under or over. There's no good way around this one. You can maybe get over there. My legs aren't long enough. Oh my god, flat. I think this one maybe go around. Yeah.
At the beginning of this video, we talked about how this trail could be anywhere between 30 or 33 miles, and a lot of that has to do with this last section. The road to the White Wolf campground was closed when we did this hike, so the last 2 miles of our hike was on a blacktop to get back out to the road where our car was parked.
We did it! Yay! We made it! It damn near killed us.
Yeah, damn near did.
We have a new name for this trail. It's now called the Relentless Trail, or Unrelenting Trail. Unrelenting Trail. Because it is unrelentingly up, unrelentingly down. That part we were aware of. Unrelenting bugs, unrelenting snakes, unrelenting logs over the trail, unrelenting shit hitting you in the face as you're going through there.
That's my favorite.
Am I missing anything?
It's unrelenting.
Unrelenting. If you had to do it again, would you go the same direction or go the opposite direction?
I would go neither direction.
What, if you had to pick one?
If I had to pick one,
Yeah.
is suicide an option?
I think they're both pretty brutal either way, honestly. Get it all done at once or have the brutality for a couple of days, because the stuff over by Tuolumne is still really steep for going up and down. We tried to avoid going down steep stuff for your knees, but it was still really steep over there and had a lot of tricky footing, and the footing I think was actually more difficult than the steep part over here by White Wolf. So, all right, we're done.